3, join me in the flag salute, please. Director Calvins can lead us.
Right hand over your heart. Veterans may salute. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you report out of closed session, please?
I'll move it when she gets here.
There is no reportable action.
I don't know. It's not reportable?
Is there any public comment on any item not on this agenda? Please, state your name.
Michelle Hayden? Please sign in for me.
I'm a San Miguel resident, and I'm advising that you're being recorded.
Thank you. Committee reports. Is there anyone here from the Sheriff, Board of Supervisors, Planning, Public Works, Advisory Council, or Army National Guard? Okay, moving into district staff and committee reports. Interim General Manager.
Okay, the report for 2/28/19. I've been telling you this quite a bit, but all the district information has been turned over to our auditor for the 17-18 audit. We have completed 2 of the audits in the last 6 weeks. Alex, at the auditor, stated that he possibly will have the audit ready by the 18th, where we'll hold a special meeting to accept that. But let's go through a 3-step review process, and right now they're in the middle of their tax season, so that's mainly what's going to hold it up.
18th of March?
Well, they're doing taxes through their
Oh, you said
audit.
the 18th though? Is
The 18th of March.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, we're at the end of February already. Yeah, the 18th of March, and they got to go through a 3-step process, so that's the main thing that's holding it up. They like what they see on all the information and don't foresee us having to provide anything else. It's just a time management issue. So it'll be done. If it's done sooner than that, we'll be contacting you guys with a date of a meeting. Could be like a 72-hour notice, but we want to get that accepted as soon as possible so that we can move forward with some other business that requires the audit to be finished. SDMRA has advised us that they approved an increase, 5% increase in our liability rates and 11% increase in property rates for 2019 and 2020. So they're just increasing insurance. So after the audit information being passed on, Darsha and Paula have been able to reconcile all our accounts up to January 2019. That's really good news, because as soon as the audit comes back, the accounts will be reconciled, and then we'll have our financial planning meeting to where the accounts will be adjusted and funds will be placed where they should be, and we should have very accurate accounting. Paycheck system is working really well for us, and we're using the app where we check in and check out, and it has really good accuracy on our accountability. So when we're showing up and leaving, taking breaks and things like that, it's all marked, and we're still tracking it on paper so that we have 2 points of reference, and it's been very good. We've already started on the 1920 budget process, and the staff have been conducting meetings so that we can have a preliminary budget presented for 2019 and 2020 for it'll come to you in April. Our investment policy is on the consent agenda. We're just doing a revision of the policy. So we have, for the remainder of this fiscal year, to do some cleanup on it, continuing the authority to manage the investments, but it will come back with every budget hereafter. So we're going to ask that it be approved. It just gives general management authority to manage investments till June, from now till June. In June it comes back and it will be visited every year. It's supposed to come back in June with the budget every year. And so that's what we need to get approved so we can continue managing that. And we'll have more explanation if you have questions on that. The district personnel guidelines and policy manual ad hoc committee had held 3 meetings, and it's up for review and discussion. Changes recommended to the board. We'll see that one tonight. We have reviewed our will serve process and have made recommended changes. The will serve letter application process is being presented for discussion and approval. Scott Young is here tonight to discuss adopting an application inspection process associated with fees for fire and life safety. It was part of the will serve process before when you come in and get your will serve to start projects. The whole process needed to be reviewed, and so a lot of things we made changes to better help the district in their ability to do the will serves and provide service on the inspection and maintenance and stuff for any new construction that's going on. And it'll serve the district because it gives us the ability to go out and do those inspections, and it supports us. Moving forward, also, Kelly's here to discuss the next steps of the Machado wastewater treatment facility expansion. So he has a presentation for that. We also have approval for the fireworks sales for 2019, and also we will be approving the permit process. All right, and that concludes my report unless you have any questions.
No questions or comments? Public comment? District General Counsel?
No report this evening.
District Engineer?
He's not here this evening, but if you have any questions on his report, then I can probably answer.
Questions, comments?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Did that project that crosses off the 12th Street, did that get stopped? Or what's going on with that?
Talking about the one.
The 1 year ago?
They've finished nearly all the infrastructure. What they're waiting on is PG&E.
Okay.
So PG&E has pulled most of the power, but they need to do the final connections. And because they're in so many different directions lately, they don't have a definite schedule when that's going to be. So they can't proceed with anything until PG&E is done.
And what project were we talking about?
Track 2327.
It's track 2779.
It's also called 27.
So we don't know when they'll also put on the new street lights for that and everything else.
When PG&E comes back, I'm sure they'll do the street lights at that time. But there's no schedule. And I talked to PG&E the last time we were out there, and they have no idea.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, public questions, comments?
Can I ask a question about the Director of Utilities report, or is really on number 8?
We're still on 8.
Okay.
You want to ask the question of Director of Utilities?
Yeah, number 9.
Okay, so we'll move into 9. Director of Utilities report?
So you guys have a report. I have a couple things to add. On the lighting side, we applied last month for the street lights again, and finally got a call today to finalize the request. So it's been completed on PG&E's side. They just need to schedule it to be put in.
Awesome.
How long that'll be, I have no idea.
Does that answer your question?
Actually, it does.
Oh, okay.
Is there any other questions?
Glad I looked at that one then.
Anybody else have any? Public comments, questions, please? State your name for the record, please.
Reverend Beckman, San Miguel resident.
I just had a question. I had this before, but I never asked it. And it's about the part of the report, Shelley, where you talk about 863 water connections, 740 sewer, and that leaves 123 more water than sewer, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then you say there's 81 waters that don't have sewer because there's none available. Okay? And 15 water where sewer is available, we just don't have it. So that's 96. So there's 27 missing.
27 that aren't on this report are through White Oak Mobile Home Park, but they are being served with sewer. So that's why they're not referenced there, but we can add them for clarity.
They're part of the 863.
Right.
Okay, well there's that. Thank you.
Go ahead. Mr. Dawes, just out of curiosity, how many abandoned water sources are there in the district? Because we had a leak that says off of this one. I would love to have an answer on that, but there's really no way to know. Okay. The county had a habit of removing meters when lots were abandoned or homes were torn down. So there is probably quite a few services that are just out there in the middle of nowhere that we won't find until they start looking. So I can't really give you an answer on that. No rough ballpark or anything else. I wouldn't even want to answer to guess. And you know, there are some that are from services that were relocated and they were never removed, and then there's a lot from when the county came across an abandoned lot, they would take the meter out and then the meter box or whatever would get buried and you don't come across it until you have a leak. None of those abandoned sources happen to be under new development or new construction, because I know there used to be old lines that ran every which way under like the Mission Meadows neighborhood, and so any new construction like Mission Meadows, this one on 12th Street, these ones over here, the requirement for the subgrade is so strict now that you pretty much have to dig everything out. Okay. Turn all the soil over, recompact everything, so there wouldn't be any chance for anything to remain. Okay. And they do pull a lot of stuff out when you find those things. Okay. Thankfully, they haven't pulled any live lines out. No. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay. Moving to fire chief report.
The only thing I have, last meeting was pointed out that I had an error in my mileage report. After reviewing it, the Excel formula, I deleted a couple of the boxes in the process of doing the forms, so it wasn't calculating correctly. It's been fixed and calculated and came up with your numbers, so it's correct. Unless you have any other questions on the fire side.
No,
I guess that's, there's other stuff coming up in the agenda regarding the fire. I'll yield till then. So.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Public questions, comments? Okay. Consent calendar. Does anybody choose to pull any items on a consent calendar for discussion?
regarding the board minutes, something was referenced that district engineer Dr. Blaine really was here, but in the previous meeting he was not present.
Oh, okay. I get that.
Under the roll call section.
Okay.
That was number 1A?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to amend that?
Yeah. We're going to approve it with amendment.
Is there any other questions or comments? Is there any public comments? Back to the board.
I have a motion to approve with the amendment. Second.
Director Parent.
Yes.
Director Sangster.
Yes.
Director Calvin.
Yes.
Director Halbach.
Yes.
President Green.
Yes.
Passes 5-0 with amendment.
Okay, item number 1, review, discuss, receive, and file the enumeration of financial report for January 2019.
What we would ask you tonight, if we can table this at the conclusion of the work being done as of last night. We were able to complete up to January of 2019, and changes were made in those accounts to accurately have the accounting. And so the numbers in this report are different. They should be different based on the correct information being entered. So before you receive and file, we'd like to provide you with the correct numbers in the report. So if we could table this till the next meeting, then that process will come to you and we'll give you both of them.
Wouldn't those corrections reflect in the February?
The reports are different now because we're all current and up to date. And so
we'll just do
I
January and
know,
February
and
next
the
month.
history of the community service district.
I'm going to take public comment on this.
So anyway, I reran the reports after we were able to balance all the bank statements, and the reports are a little bit different, and so we would just rather give you the more accurate reports. So I just reran the January ones with current information.
So when February comes to you, February will be current, and it will also bring forward January current.
We'll have to bring both.
And I would also like to point out, we did 2 audits in 6 months.
Wow.
That's a lot of work, right? And we are fine-tuning everything now. I think we only got hit with maybe 1 or 2 things this time. So our audit is really going to be good this time around. Even better on 18, 19.
Okay. Do you have a question or comment? Joe?
No, not this time.
Is there any public comment?
Just you.
I don't know if you guys looked at the report that we did. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah. Yes.
And do you guys want to continue seeing it? Do you want to see other things on here?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good format. I kind of would like to see like some numbers for Kramer, just kind of running total. I guess we're kind of towards the end of the road with them as far as, are we approaching that?
Yes. Well, they're going to stay on board.
Okay, well then I'd like to see what you're spending on them in this report. Like in your top 5, maybe make it a top 6
Okay.
on the, expenses.
Their involvement to this point has been reconciling those audits, doing those audits. So that level of activity
Right.
is going to back way down.
I sure hope so.
We're encouraging to keep them on board as a review and support.
Sure.
Forward.
We'll do a top 10.
I would also like to point out, without their help, we would not have been able to
I understand that.
recover
It's
all the
been,
money that...
it's been another expense that's,
Well, that's...
kind of large.
Well, when you go back 4 years, because nobody...
I understand.
Okay.
Are we getting a consensus, or are we going to make a motion to...
I need a motion to
Or we're just
table
going to
it.
set it aside until February? Elaine, what's your recommendation?
I can't hear you, Elaine.
Sorry, I was on mute, sorry. If you guys aren't sure about it right now, I wouldn't do anything.
Just set it aside?
Set it aside or motion to,
I would table it.
Table it?
yeah, so
Motion to table.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second to table? Second.
Come on.
Okay, motion and second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
No, that was in the consent, so the one vote, the other, did you want to discuss it?
Yes, go.
Number 2, review and approve resolution 2019-10, revising the investment policy for San Miguel CSD.
So it came to our attention that the policy has not been updated since the 2019, during the 2019 budget. And to bring it into compliance, the date has been changed to authorize general manager authority to manage investments for the remainder of the fiscal year. This item will be brought annually back to with the budget for approval each year. Other than that, nothing has changed. It's just if any changes need to be made between now and June, it's just authorizing me the authority to take action up until June. So if there's anything that needs to be done with our investment policy, I would be able to act. I can't act because we're out of compliance for the policy.
Okay, so the only thing we're out of compliance is the fact that the board didn't renew the powers of the general manager, which is supposed to be done on an annual basis. So we're doing it now, and then we're going to renew it again in June, May or June. And then it'll be done annually as it's supposed to be after that.
It's just, that's it.
It's something that fell through the cracks.
If you guys will look into the policy there, you'll see on the first page, section 3, bottom of the paragraph, it's in red. Those are the only items that were changed in the policy.
Okay.
And as the president stated, it's going to carry us through June, and it comes back for review and approval with the budget each year in June.
That's already stated somewhere in here though, isn't it?
It is that it comes back every year? We just-
No, the board hereby delegates investment authority to the general manager for a period of 1 year. You're saying that was added?
Yeah, see the red on the top? It's the date change, the 1819.
Okay, well, I've got a line that's red.
Yeah, that red line
That
was,
wasn't in there before?
that's the only part that matters in the report, that 2018-19.
And 2018-19, that's the section.
That's the
that
sentence
you're
that has
approving
to-
that's out of compliance with the policy.
Okay.
Should it state fiscal year as opposed to 1 year term?
We didn't reword it at all. We just changed
It could be
it.
fiscal year because it has to come with the budget. The budgets are due in June.
It is fiscal. We'll do it. We could do it in June or July.
June.
This is good until June 30th.
Right.
30th as it's written.
Right.
So we would renew it in the June meeting so that it states for the next fiscal year, for 2019, 2020.
Right, yeah, 1920, okay.
We vote on it in June, but it would take effect July 1st. July 1st. Any questions or comments from public? No? Any other questions or comments from the board?
I just have a comment, for the investment, what funds do we use for, is it a separate fund?
It's from Cantella. It's explain what the money is, where the money came from.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So you're asking what are the investments that this pertains to? We have certificates of deposit, for an example, that became mature a month ago. And we had to let them pretty much roll over.
One matured and had to be rolled over. It would go into a variable interest account and ride the market, where you stand to lose if the market changes and it's unstable. So it was advised to reinvest it. It was at a 1.6 and we got a 1.7, sorry, we got a 3.05.
Right.
And we had a little over 6,000 and some change in the variable market based on interest earned. And we were advised to take a portion of that, which 5,000 added to the 70, and 75,000 reinvested into a 3.05. We have a second one, and I'm not sure of the amount on it. It's around 60. I have it here somewhere.
60 or 70 and it matures.
Yeah, we have an option to trade it. Basically, we resell it and reinvest it, but it goes back in at a higher interest. Interest rate.
No, in this case,
It matures in a year, but we can take action on it now and sell it and repurchase it at a